morning all, it's the goateed Slothman here with Slow Hands Fast Cars. We're not in a rush, but we are trying to get faster. So, excuse my throat, don't know what's going on there, it is winter, so you know. There it is. Okay, all finished up. I'll throw a few videos on the end of this one, just showing you the final few processes. So I'm going to try to keep this nice and short because I think my videos will get a bit too long. Look, it's a second-hand car. I'm going to do my overall review on this thing in another video, keep that nice and compact, essentially outlining the issues you're going to have when you get a second-hand car. Yeah, there was a few, and I don't know what I'm doing. You add the two things together, it's a recipe for disaster, but I had fun. I learned a lot. Do I think this is going to be our main race car going forward in the future? Hell no. Okay, but it will be a really good starting point, especially considering we're doing the ovals. Gave it all a bit of a clean up. She's looking pretty nice. Boy's about to get home, so I'm just charging the battery in behind it over here. You can't really see it. That way we can have a bit of a run. Hopefully it'll dry off a bit. It's a little bit wet outside. Winter is here, so it's bloody cold as well, hence all the hoodies and beanies and everything else. And we're happy with it. Yeah, I'm happy with it. I think it's going to do a good one, and it will be a really good bash car later on. Okay, it might even become the car we use to lend to friends to say, come to the club, have a go, see if you're going to like it, give them a chance to try it without having to spend $400, $500, $600 for them and their kids. Did find something rather interesting. I got a really cheap little camber gauge there, but it does the job. It gives me an indication of where the things are. I will be getting something better than that, and a ride height gauge, and probably a tow-in gauge as well, just so I can get things set up a little bit better, because that's what I'm going to enjoy. So the front right camber, this wheel here, it's about 4 degrees, where the other 3 wheels are all just over 0, just below 1. Woo! Now, we are doing ovals, that will help. Okay, but yeah, the other thing I've discovered, I'm going to need to get myself a little tool to be able to adjust the adjustable arms in there. Oh, there goes the battery charger. So because I've got nothing to do it with, and the way these things are, it's way too small. I can't get needle noses onto them to do it effectively, so I need something to do that with. So for now, it's going to have to do it. When I get there on Saturday, I'm hoping I can borrow a tool and get that done. Be good just to have everything set to 0 sort of thing, and leave it as it is, go for a run, see what we can come up with. So it's about to get real dirty again though, so there goes all my hard work. I would like to get him into a habit of cleaning things after each go. So there you go. Watch these videos, see how you go. I'll do a little bit of a sign off at the end of this, and enjoy. I hope this little series has made a big difference. I'm going to let you know what I am getting in another video, because there's a fair bit of info there. And my plans going forward, and how much it's generally cost me, and would I do it the same way again. But it's been fun. I've had a frickin' ball. I've got frustrated, I've got happy, the gamut of emotions. It's a new hobby and I'm really enjoying it. It's helping me forget about work, which I'm not enjoying at the moment. So yeah, it's a good mental health thing. Okay, folks. So that's me. I'm going to sign out here. We'll get into the rest of the videos, and I'll see you at the end. Okay, here we go again. Just a little bit of an update. I'm hoping I've worked on the view. I've moved the bench around a little bit. Like I said, experimenting with some different layouts here to see if we can get better take that off, to see if we can get a better layout going. I've got a really good plan how I'm going to mount all my cars now, but for now we'll just have a quick chat about this. So as I explained, I kind of got all the back end done. I'm working on the middle part here, and I'll get to that in a second, but I've got my boy who's keen on doing this, working on the front. However, I think he's only keen on using the rotary tool, because that's over there getting charged at the moment. But it's good, he's showing interest, he's having a go. I don't know if I want to take this apart, the suspension arms on the front. I think I might just get him to clean this part manually, because I don't know how these C-clips work. Really don't know. And all these screws have got flathead screwdrivers, which I really can't be bothered with. I'm trying to figure out what brand these updates are.
I mean, they might just be stock standard Traxxas stuff, the aluminium versions, but I can't find any real information on them, so I'll get to them in a minute. However, he started on a shock, done a pretty good job. We've still got a fair bit to do there, little bit, but again, we'll worry about all that later. I really don't think these shocks are designed for the Traxxas at all. He's put a spacer in here which looks like it's a very old second-hand part from something else, so again, got to do a bit of research. These front mounts are way too high, so I want to unscrew these. Oh, geez, where did I get that from? Unscrew these and get some shorter ones. Okay, I'm not going to buy any of this stuff because I've actually won a couple of eBay auctions and I've got a whole pile of Traxxas stuff coming in, so we'll wait for that to get here. We'll just run with what we've got for now, use it as a benchmark and go from there. I did a little bit of experimenting on here to see how we could clean it up. I don't have anything where I can get in there and vacuum clean it out. I just did this using my old technique, but I used a different technique here. So I got the rotary tool, cleaned it up with the nylon brush, and then I sprayed some Armor All on there and we used a cotton bud to smear it out because it was pretty thick and slimy stuff. Smear it out as best as we could and then use the microfiber cloth to kind of buff it out, and it is worked a treat. It looks great. I've still got to do the side on it. I probably should have done that first considering it's a small area. And I've also got to redo the Nerf bar and stick that all back on. But I tell you what, really happy with that. So that's where we're starting with the front end. There won't be much I'll be changing here. I want to probably try to lay the shocks out as best as I can because this sits up incredibly high, and I want to try and level it out a bit to give us a good working place to start from. So we'll lay them out a little bit. I've got room here to move the shocks up if we need to, but I'd like to leave them somewhere in the middle, so I've got a little bit of playroom there. Shouldn't take long to do this and we're all good to go. All I've got to do is install a transponder. I think I might have some screws that'll work in there, but again, I'm not overly worried because I am getting a whole pile of stuff soon, so it should be fine. I do have the screws, actually, the Traxxas screws that came with this thing. Might see if they fit, you never know. Overall though, starting to come along, pretty happy. It'll work. Looking forward to next weekend. Have a run. Okay, so here we go. I've got it pretty much where I want it to be. Lots of little issues, but that's what you get with a second hand. No bolt for this screw. I don't have enough spare parts, so I'm not going to be able to do anything about that. Let's just hope it doesn't shake loose, hey? I don't think it will. It hasn't so far. This screw that comes through here, like I said, these put spacers that aren't designed to fit in there. This is actually bent. So let's hope that doesn't come out because I can't screw it in properly. Yeah, after evaluating the shocks, they're definitely not made for the Traxxas Slash. Okay, these should be shorter. From what I've been discovering in the manual, these should be shorter, about 85 mil eye to eye. And these are a little bit bigger, 95 or 100 mil or something. That's what they're meant to be. These are all bigger, just way bigger. They all appear to be the same freaking size, and if they're not, geez, this is nuts. So look, we'll give them a run. We'll see how they go. They're the only option I've got at the moment, so that's what we're going to do. Everything's cleaned up. Looks really nice. Okay, I'm pretty happy with how that's cleaned up. Gave this a scrub. I couldn't be bothered taking these off because the arms have flat head screws in there, and like I said, I don't have a bolt, so I don't want to play too hard with that stuff and break something, so I can't use it this coming weekend. Well, my boy can't use it anyway. Couple of things left to do. I've noticed I've got to fix this. Wireless antenna comes through. I did loosen this off. I took this whole thing off. I've removed the transmitter out of there, and I put some Velcro in there to hold it in place so I could take it in and out when needed, because there was no way I could get the transponder in there physically. Just couldn't do it because of the way the receiver was set up and where I needed to put the transponder little pins. Couldn't get it in, so I had to take that out to get that in. Then I cleaned it all up and put in some Velcro. Should work fine. Don't think it'll be a problem. this is a pretty cool little idea. I like this idea. I like how they've done that. That's not bad. The foam in there, so it all kind of squashes it in but doesn't damage it. Really nice. Problem I've got, I wanted to put the transponder here or here, but we can't because the cable's not long enough. Did some research, found out I need a servo extension, which I'm not going to have time to get. So for now, we've gone the high-tech approach of blue tack. Because I don't want to muck around with double-sided tape or something I want to move after one use. And the blue tack is really effective. I think that'll be fine. If we're not taking this next meet to win it, we're just going to get used to this car, see what we can do with it and that sort of thing. And I'm going to have a go with the rental probably. So it's more just another learning experience. So if it comes off, it comes off. If he doesn't get his laps tracked, I might win. Ha ha! So that's what we're going to do there. I'm just going to leave that for now. I'm not worried. This is an easy fix. It is split. I knew it was split, so I'm just going to loosen that back off, push it back down a little bit more and tighten it back up. They should clamp it all together. I'm not really worried about that at all. I do want to put some electrical tape over this. Got to go out in the shed to do that because there's a channel there for the cable to go through, so we'll clean that up a little bit. But there is one thing I want to do before we get it all ready for racing. I've got this nice little compact foam pad and I can't remember what I got it out of, if I'm honest. It was something I bought. I don't freaking know. I'm going to pretty much cut this to fit in here and measure it up to the batteries I'll be using and just tape it in there just to give it a little bit of a spot so it can pretty much not get damaged and not move around too much. So using that for sure. That's about it though. Everything else, I mean, it's going to work. I do have to clean up the tyres. I'm just going to put the Traxxas tyres on for now. I do have these really cool caliber freaking Pro lines that are meant to be awesome for our racetrack, but I'm not going to use it for the dirt season. I'll save them because I reckon I want to burn through them pretty hard. So we're just going to put the Traxxas on. Do have to clean them all up because there's a lot of muck in there. Get them on. I might let my boy do that so he can actually learn how to put the wheels on and off because he'll need to do that at the track. Got to clean up the chassis, sorry, not the chassis, the shell, because that is filthy after we gave it a quick run. And it's got some weird stuff on the inside which I'll show you a bit later maybe. But for now I'm pretty much done. My boy had a night out with some mates last night, stayed with some mates, so he'll be coming back pretty soon. So I want to get them cleaned up so he can have a run with it this morning because that'd be pretty cool. All in all though, it's a second-hand car. Found a lot of issues. I'll give a bit of a rundown in a minute, but we're there. Okay, this should be the last video about this car for now. I am kind of done. I fixed this up a bit. I took the little broken bit off. Sure, it sticks out the top a smidge. I'm not too worried. Couldn't get that back on exactly right, but I'm over it kind of now. Just wanted to show you this. See this nice pile of dirt over here? That came from one shock. That's how dirty this thing was. So, yeah, there's been a little bit of work involved in this one. I've had to learn a lot. Yeah, I think I've benefited from having something not quite brilliant. Just a quick rundown starting from back here. Had a wheelie bar on. Looks like all the screws have been stripped on this particular part. The wheelie bar I took off, used the screws and they aren't holding very well in there, but we'll give it a run outside in a minute and we'll see how we go. A fair bit of dirt in here, got a fair bit to fix up. I didn't like how my access to the slipper clutch, I can't do anything about that. Again, not overly worried right now. Shocks are way too big. Looking at them though, these may be shorter. They may actually be shorter than the rear ones. So they might be designed for the Traxxas Slash 2-wheel drive. They're just too big bore, very big bore. So I don't know how I feel. We'll see how they run. They're going to have to do for now. Okay, I'll fix up the spaces later. I don't like how they're done. This will just have to be dropped down. You'll see when I take a shot from the other side how much the body comes up, which I must show you in a minute. Happy with this, not happy with that. Moving on, don't want to stick to that too much. These are going to wear. Life is as it is. We've got two different hexes here, probably because we've got two different arms. This has got, I don't know what that's called, that's metal as well. A lot of learning to do here. Blue tacked that on because, of course, the wire's not far enough to put on there. I've just put some tape over the electrical cable there just to protect it. I will glue in that foam later. Not too panicky now. Would love a bolt to put on there. It is what it is. All right. Everything else, though, I mean, it is a Traxxas Slash. I mean, it's going to do the job. We'll see how we go. The wheels are nice. Gave them a bit of a clean. Not a full-on clean because we're about to go run them. I did use a little bit of, what is that called? Green clean or clean green or whatever the hell it's called. Easy green. Yeah, it works great on the tyres. I just put a bit on the dirty microfiber and worked a treat. Yeah, it came up great. So we'll see how they run. I believe you can use that to make them sticky and stuff. But hey, that's another level for me. Now, the shell. Gave that a clean because it was filthy. Now, the reason it gets filthy, the guy has put in here like a fiberglass meshy type stuff and he's just glued it down. It's probably just fly screen just looking at it. I like what he's trying to do. I like the reinforcing here, and I think he probably could have stopped there. Maybe just put a bit around the edges and the front. I think it's there to stop the paint from coming up because it looks like it's a very old body and it's been very well loved. I have had to cut quite a few areas off. They were just loose and it was just somewhere for rocks and dirt and everything to get under. As you can see, getting the dirt out of here is going to be a nightmare. Look, it is what it is. I like the idea, and I'm not going to lie, I probably would have tried something similar to this going forward. So now that I've seen it in action, I probably won't. Okay? But, you know, it'll do the job. So I think that's going to do me for cleaning and just going over this for now. There's still a lot more I've got to do and a lot more I've got to learn, but I've learned so much just from doing this, and I think my boy has as well. So I'm going to put this on because my boy's about to come home. I want to jump on the computer and do another quick video just wrapping this all up. But in general, let's go rip this thing around and see how much damage I can do, eh? Anyway, on to the next one.
All right, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope, man, that thing just has perfect timing. I hope you enjoyed it. As you can see, I am changing a lot of things. This video is actually going to have a lot of changes. You would have noticed that. I'm trying to use a new editor. She's complicated. It ain't simple. So I'm learning. It's going to give me the opportunity to actually animate a lot more things, create a lot more things. And again, I'm going to do another video on that because there's a lot to go. You'll also notice I was able to get, I also got that thing mounted up on there. I'll clean all that up later. I do have to clean this whole room out now. I've got so much gunk sitting around that I just want to get rid of it. So that'll be the next thing. Boy should be home soon. Let's give this a rip. I'll go into some other videos about some other things. Hope you're having a great weekend. Hope your next races are fun, and I hope you can get into this hobby because it is very enjoyable, and I've only just scratched the surface. So for now, I am the Goateed Sloth, reminding you to take it easy on the trigger, send it on the straights, and just remember, even a sloth can go full throttle.